The kitten was crouched near the blue water, paws pressed tightly against the warm stone, her whiskers trembling as tiny ripples touched the edge. The summer air was quiet, only the soft buzzing of insects and the faint rustle of leaves in the yard. She leaned forward, curious, then quickly pulled back, heart racing. The puppy noticed. He was sitting 2 steps above her, his fur damp and shining from the pool. Drops of water rolled off his ears as he tilted his head. He didn't bark. He didn't rush. He simply watched her, gentle and patient, like he understood. The kitten edged forward again, stretching one paw. The moment her paw touched the surface, the water moved, and she flinched away so fast she slipped. Her claws scrambled for grip, her breath quick and shaky. The puppy moved instantly. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet concern. He patted down 1 step and placed his wet paw beside hers, steady and calm, pressing lightly against the stone as if saying it's okay. See, nothing bad. The kitten stared at him, confused. The puppy dipped his paw into the water again, slowly this time. Tiny circles spread outward. He looked back at her with soft eyes. He wasn't forcing her. He was showing her. The kitten swallowed hard and tried again. Her paw touched the water for a second longer, long enough to feel the coolness instead of the fear. She pulled back, but not as fast as before. The puppy wagged his tail. They stayed there for a while, quiet, patient, listening to the sounds around them. Somewhere in the distance, children laughed. A door closed. A bird hopped across the fence, watching. The kitten's thoughts tangled inside her chest. Every time she looked at the water, she remembered the night it rained too hard and the puddle in the yard grew bigger than she expected. She had stepped inside and sunk deeper than she thought. She remembered the cold, the panic, the helpless feeling. Her body still remembered. So she sat there, shaking slightly, while the puppy stayed beside her like a tiny guard. After a few minutes, the puppy did something different. Instead of tapping the water, he walked right into the shallow step. The water covered his paws, then his ankles. He looked peaceful, like it was no big deal. The kitten watched closely. He walked in a circle, then plopped down right there, letting his belly sink into the water. He blinked up at her with a goofy, relaxed expression. Soft ripples shimmered around him, glowing under the sunlight. Nothing terrible happened. No sudden storms. No deep darkness. Just sparkles of light and warm air. The kitten leaned forward again, this time with her nose. She sniffed the water, the smell fresh and clean. She reached out carefully. Her paw entered again, deeper than before. The coolness wrapped around her toes. She froze but didn't run. The puppy noticed and stayed still, almost holding his breath with her. The kitten breathed slowly. Then something unexpected happened. A small leaf drifted across the surface, floating like a tiny boat. It touched her paw. She jerked back in surprise, eyes wide. The puppy gently nudged the leaf back toward her, his nose pushing it, playful and calm. He pawed it, showing that the water could be fun, not dangerous. The kitten couldn't help it, her tail twitched with curiosity. She touched the leaf. The water rippled again. This time she didn't panic. She tried again. And again. Each movement created little rings that spread wider and wider, disappearing softly at the edges. There was something strangely beautiful about it, something safe. The kitten took 1 small step forward, placing her front paws in the water. Her heart thumped, not from fear now, but from possibility. The puppy watched proudly, chest lifting a little. A gentle wind passed across the yard. The sunlight shifted. The sound of the water became quieter, calmer, almost whispering. Then they both heard something. A faint splash somewhere deeper in the pool. The kitten froze again, ears up. The puppy stood alert but not scared. They looked toward the center. The water moved differently now, like something was under the surface. Not dangerous, but different. The kitten leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Another soft splash. The puppy stepped slightly ahead, protective, placing himself just between her and the deeper part. He sniffed the air, listening, body calm but attentive. The kitten's fear returned, but it wasn't the same fear as before. It was mixed with curiosity. She wanted to know, she wanted to understand. She took a breath. Slow, steady. The puppy turned his head just enough to look at her again, as if asking, ready. She nodded without meaning to, tiny whiskers trembling. They moved one step closer together. And then in the shimmering blue water, something appeared near the surface. Not large, not threatening, just a shadow slowly rising toward them. And before the kitten could see clearly, the water rippled, and the shape came closer. The kitten's heart pounded, caught between courage and fear. What was coming toward them? And would the puppy step forward first, or would she? The kitten stood at the very edge of the pool, her tiny paws pressed into the warm stone, her whiskers quivering as sunlight glittered across the water. Every ripple felt like a warning. Every soft movement reminded her of that night when rain filled the yard and she slipped into a deep puddle she couldn't escape from. Her heart remembered before her mind did. She leaned forward just a little, testing the distance. The puppy noticed her before she noticed him. He was already wet from playing, fur darkened and heavy with water, tail swaying gently behind him. Instead of jumping or barking, he simply watched, patient and calm, like he knew that loudness would only make things worse. The kitten stretched her paw out. The tip touched the surface. Cold. Moving. Alive. She gasped and pulled back instantly, almost stumbling. Her claws scraped lightly over the stone. She froze, embarrassed, even though nobody laughed. The puppy slowly padded closer and sat beside her. Not touching. Not crowding. Just being there. He lifted one paw and dipped it into the water. Slow, relaxed, gentle circles spread out. He looked at her again, eyes soft, saying without words, "See, it's okay." The kitten swallowed and looked away. But she didn't leave. A breeze carried the smell of grass and flowers. Dragonflies hovered above the water like floating sparks. Somewhere in the distance, a lawnmower hummed. Everything around them felt calm except her heart. She tried again. This time, her paw stayed in the water for 1 second. Then 2. Then she pulled away. The puppy wagged his tail once, not excited, not demanding, just proud.